Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Wednesday, December 18th. If you're counting down 7 days till Christmas. Hey, I hope you're having a great week. Halfway through this week, I know the hustle and bustle, the holidays really starts to take over now, if it hasn't already. But I want to thank you for joining us today. I want to tell you about something that's coming out here that is kind of a new deal that finally got passed. We talked about a little bit before, the Secure Act. It's one of the neatest things that's come through when it comes to retirement planning. It's going to be a big help to a lot of folks out there. And so we'll hopefully get a chance to talk about that on the show this morning with Dave, because I think that is something worth talking about today. So, hey, hang with us. Dave will be with us in just a moment.
Hey, good morning. It is 8:41. Let's check in on your money and see what's happening on Wall Street today. Downtown Sebring, we go to the offices of Statler Financial Service. Phillip Statler is standing by. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. Hey, doing well today. For those out there that are counting down, what is it, 1 week from today will be Christmas Day.
Absolutely. And the time to shop is getting short for guys. Your shopping day, the 23rd, is now 4 days away, because none of us start until the 23rd, do we?
Exactly. So, hey, it's going to be here before we know it. And they are going to give you that day off, right?
Oh, heck no. I get 1 day. I get Christmas Day off. That's it. So that will do it. The rest of the time I'm here come heck or high water. Well, yesterday was kind of interesting. It was kind of a template for the last couple three, set a few new intraday records. We hit highs on all three of the major indexes. And then investors said, I don't really trust these clowns after the market goes dark for the day. So there was a tail at the end. We ended up yesterday, but it was not as big as it was in the middle of the day. That lack of confidence in the world situation just kind of continues, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, Dave. People don't want, the traders anyway, let me just put up, the traders, the guys that make their living day in and day out on the stock market, they don't want to be stuck there overnight. They want to clear their trades so that they're even the next morning. And I think that's probably what we're seeing.
Yeah, just don't trust those nutbags on the world market overnight, because weird stuff can happen. Talk about weird things happening. The story of the day in terms of individual equities is Federal Express. If anybody had ever wanted to wreak revenge on somebody they didn't like, Amazon did it to FedEx, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did. They're ending that relationship with FedEx, which was a big deal to them. They missed earnings. They were expected to come in at like $2.76 a share. They came in at $2.51 a share. Revenue was below what was forecasted. And then on top of that, they've cut their fiscal 2020 profit forecast. So another issue there with them. And so just they're struggling. They're down 7.2% this morning.
That's right at the top of my big loser list from the selected stocks that I get this morning. Yeah, adding to it the news item the other day saying that Amazon tells its independent vendors you may not ship by FedEx anymore. It's not a Boeing situation, but it's definitely not something the guys in the corner office at FedEx had in mind, right?
No, it's really not. It's definitely put a hurt on them. And I'm sure it's helped the Postal Service and UPS on the flip side of that. But, Amazon, they're moving towards what? Being able to do their own delivery. So before you know it, they're going to take everybody out of the picture.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for the short term, it's going to help UPS, but they're getting hammered because of the FedEx thing, and they're down by the better part of 2% this morning just for sector difficulties because, well, I guess everybody's kind of assuming Amazon's probably going to do to UPS what they have done to FedEx once they get their own fleet of trucks going, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the fear.
Absolutely. Hey, we got some good news on the legislative front. Before we get into the reports and the other industry information that's out there in publicly traded stocks, for all of the chatter about the impeachment chatter going on in the House of Representatives, Congress is actually doing some work, and some of it could be really good news for investors and people to plan their retirements, I gather.
Yeah, it is. They finally passed. We've been hearing about it, but it finally passed the Secure Act. And that stands for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement Act of 2019. So you said, well, what does all that really mean, Philip? Well, it's some good stuff. It means that, your required minimum distributions out of your IRA used to have to start at 70 and a half. Where they came out with that half, who nobody ever knows. But they're making that, stretching that out a little bit now. So now you don't have to start taking your required minimum distribution until age 72. Nice round number. And so that's number one. Number two, even if you were working at age 70, you could not contribute to an IRA, traditional IRA. They took that out. So now if you're still working at 70 and you have earned income, you can make a contribution to your individual retirement account. They put in there some allows for penalty-free withdrawals for both birth and adoption. Another good thing, now you have to pay the tax on what comes out, but you don't have to pay that 10% early withdrawal penalty. And so some other things, one of the other big things they provided for, took away employer liability when it comes to putting annuities within 401k plans. That's one of the issues that's been out there, is that, within your 401k plan, there's never an annuity. There's nothing there that can give you income over your lifetime. And so now this kind of paves the way to start doing that. Now, on the downside, Dave, they did take one thing away from us that I found very useful, and that was the stretch IRA. So now,
what's a stretch IRA?
So you die, right? And you leave the IRA to your kids. They could put it into an inherited IRA, and they could take it out over their lifetime.
Okay.
So they took that away and replaced it with a 10-year distribution. So now the longest you can defer it out is 10 years. You have to liquidate that inherited IRA over a 10-year period. So, I mean, that's not hugely bad, but if somebody's really young and they want to save it for their retirement, it precludes them from doing that.
It does take care of one inherited item that could have been nice, yeah. Actually, the advancing age levels, as healthy as people are staying and as long as people are working, those changes in some of the changes for folks around 70, when you and I were talking about it before we went on the air, somebody in my position, I'm enjoying relatively good health. I may work solidly until I'm 70 or so. Having the option at that time to be able to let my annuities continue to grow rather than have to take them at 70 and a half, that's going to mean good news to a lot of people that are contemplating an extended work life because they're enjoying what they're doing.
Well, and there's just people that don't need the money. So they're forced to take it out 70 and a half. It gives them a couple more years before they actually have to start taking it out.
Absolutely. It helps overall. Company news out this morning. We've got a few stragglers on the reporting season, I gather.
So other than FedEx, we had General Mills report. They beat by 7 cents a share. Revenue was basically in line with what was expected. They did get a big boost from their pet food sales. They owned the Blue Buffalo, and that had a better than expected quarter. Weaker. They had something that offset. They had Snickers bars or snack bars and yogurt were a little bit weaker than expected. They're up about 2% this morning.
How on earth could you not sell Snickers bars?
Yeah, I know. So then we've got really the only other earnings I have is a company called Cintas, which is a uniform company, but they also do a lot of company first aid things and service units. They're trading up a little bit less than 1% this morning. And then something called Steelcase. Steelcase is an office furniture manufacturer. And they beat by about 11 cents a share. Their revenue was exceeded the forecast, and they're trading up 5.5% this morning.
I think they're generally considered a pretty premium line of office furniture as well. So that's probably good news for capital investment numbers.
That could be. I mean, and it'll open at a new 52-week high this morning.
Cool beans. Well, setting the table this morning, once again, we mentioned everything was up yesterday, just not as big as it was in the middle of the day. As we backed off at the end of the day, the Dow closes 31 points up, NASDAQ up by a little over 9, Standard & Poor's a little over 1. That doesn't sound very exciting until you consider 3 all-time record highs set during the day. Let's see if we could actually close up for a change. 45 minutes before we open this morning, Phillip. What are we looking at?
We're up, but it's just a tinge of green. We've got the Dow up $12. We've got the S&P 500 up $1.88. We got the NASDAQ up almost $9. So not a huge deal there as we get ready to start the day. I want to skip over to cryptocurrency real quick. You and I didn't talk about this before we went on the air, but there's a huge decline right now happening. Evidently, there's some scammers out there that liquidated huge amounts of their portfolio overnight, and we're seeing as much as almost a 10% decline in some of the cryptocurrencies out there today. So
probably the poops that are holding New Orleans hostage for cryptocurrency ransom.
So, yeah, so if you have cryptocurrency, you may want to take a look at that today. On the other front, we've got gold and silver both trading down just a tad, and crude oil slipping 0.5% to $60.53 a barrel.
Thank heavens for favors, right?
That's right.
Mixed bag on Asian markets when they closed early this morning. Mixed bag in Europe as well. England is up by a little bit. Germany is off by a little bit midway through their day. Given the fact that we've been talking about a lack of surety as to what's going to happen overnight, it's always interesting to look at the Treasury bills. Evidently, the big money people that are taking it off the table overnight, just keeping it in cash overnight because interest rates are holding pretty steady at 1.89% on the 10-year bond. So it's not a lack of confidence. It's just a lack of certainty as to what the airheads on the world market could do overnight, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's not a flight to safety yet.
No, I don't see that at all. Somebody want to figure out what's going on, especially with all these new changes in the offing as far as retirement planning is concerned. A neutral turf advice could be real handy right now. Phillip, how do I get that from you?
David, give us a call at 863-382-0037. Check out our website at statlerfinancial.com, and then join us every weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on News Talk 730 a.m.
All righty, and back again here tomorrow morning and see what's going on Light FM. Phillip, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, buddy. You too.
Be well. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler. Remember.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us. If you like what we're doing, please like our page at Statler Financial Services here on Facebook, and then share us with your friends and neighbors. A lot of good information. Check out our website. Have a great day. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.